See this? This right here? Move that. All of that move. That right there. This is all one lock. That's no bueno for me, boy. Oh, but guess what? There's hope. There's hope. There's hope. What's up, guys? It's your boy, DOMI boy, back with a Freeform Loc update. And guys, I'm about done with these Congos, man. Now, I know you're probably wondering why I got a tam on my head. And honestly, it's because I'm a little afraid to show the fam what I just did to the baby freeformies. Guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about the importance of separating your locks and why exactly you may want to do such a thing. I've been growing a damn crater out the side of my head that I just realized this morning. Look at this. This entire thing is one lock. All of that move. And I have one lock here. You see that? It's all sort of formed and congoed up to becoming one lock. Guys, one of my biggest fears, and I've mentioned this on videos before, is having hair all around the side of my head and a big bald spot in the middle. And the way things are headed, motherfucker, I'm headed there. The locks are doing it to me. They're all growing this way while I got one single lock in the middle of my head. What the fuck? I don't think in any sort of lock review I showed y'all the top of my head, but take a look. So, I'm not trying to have two bat wings flapping up on the side of my head. I'll show you the 3 ways you can go about separating your locks, and then guess what? You're gonna join me and actually witness the damn thing. Because guys, I've been growing a crater out the side of my damn head, actually on both sides of my damn head, but more on that later. Disclaimer, I am in no way telling you to go out there and separate your locks or telling you not to separate your locks. Your journey is your journey, and ultimately you know what's best for your crown. Now, these 2 craters that have been growing outside of my head was just about making my life miserable. Washing the suds out of my hair during a wash was more difficult. Drying was an insane task in itself. The Congo that was forming on the right and left side of my head were borderline pulling all the other locks at the center of my head along with it. But then as I move down, I'm starting to see, okay, this is not a singular lock. This lock connects to this, which connects to these, which connects to this, which connects a bit to this, which connects to this, which connects a bit to this, which connects to this, and this, of course, is connected here as well. Oh, and this is just one lock, so 1 and 2. So I had to think, should I separate my locks? Or should I just let things be? When it comes to separating your locks, there are 2 camps of folks. There's the freeform purists who believe in never separating your locks, just allowing your head to lock up and let it do its damn thing and just don't touch. See, the problem with this is that down the line, these dense locks can take on a life of their own and become huge. And if you aren't 100% on board with that look, the further down the line it'll lock up and the harder it'll be to separate. It can make washing a little bit burdensome, it can make drying a little bit burdensome. That's the price you pay for a dope ass set of locks and a dope ass unique look that you can literally call your own. Then you have the folks who check in with their locks just about every other day or every week, checking out their baby freeformies, separating them out, always making sure after a wash they pull them apart. This gives you major control on how your locks will ultimately turn out down the line, but you can make yourself obsessive about your hair growth, the journey. You become over analytical about how things are going to ultimately turn out. Personally, I think it's best you take a mix of both approaches. Allow your hair the freedom to mature and grow on its own. Give your locks a little bit of a check-in every once in a while, and make sure you're putting yourself into a hair position that you want to stick with long term. Now, a good way to assess how big your locks will ultimately be and to see where things are headed is to get a feel around those individual locks. Go down to the root, ultimately end up. So this lock will essentially be about that big. When we go to the left, we got about the same ordeal. You move that and everything's moving. Now, I grew out my freeformies for a solid year, and I'm proud of myself for not getting in there and weaseling around. But with the way things are currently going, I think it's best that I get in there and actually implement those lock separating techniques. Now, there are 3 ways to separate your locks. The first method is called popping your locks. Now, to pop your locks, as with all separation methods, you want to make sure your hair is wet. Now, you want to go down the 2 locks you want to separate and figure out the natural partings of them. Once you find that natural part, you're just going to lift up your fingers and pop those stray hairs that connect between the 2 locks. Look at this, perfect. So this whole crater is now pulling my center lock right here. You see that? Right there. It's perfect for popping. Lift up any stray hairs that are not apart. Just pop them, just like that. Make sure your hair is wet, guys. Just took a shower. And as you remove your finger, just like that, those loose hairs may get caught and start to pop away. Lock popping is really quick and easy way to prevent your locks from tangling up and starting to get locked up together. You see that? Great way to separate your locks if they haven't locked up all the way at the root. Like, see, lock popping is a super quick and really easy way to prevent your locks from tangling up together. Great technique to use on locks when they're in the early maturation phase, when they're just starting to, you know, become teenage locks. At this point, you can go in between those teenage locks and prevent them from hooking up. For locks that are a little more congruent up, maybe the 2 teenage locks went ahead and got into a relationship, here you gotta do the pull and rip method. You gotta rip the 2 locks apart because they're just not good for each other. Make sure your hair is wet, grab the 2 locks that you'd like to separate, move on down to the root, pull and rip. Now, the pull and rip method is very similar to pop method, but you wanna pull the 2 hairs, get as close to the root, pull and separate. Now for the people who are in my camp, the familia folks who have these huge locks that borderline you can't pull and rip apart because they're taking up the whole right side of your head. Guys, you need to pull out the scissors for this one, and this is just simply gonna be called cutting your locks. You ensure your hair is wet, get down to the root, and you always want to separate from the root. That's the base of each lock. You want to ensure, again, it has enough hair on the scalp at the base so that when this grows into a full strong lock, it's not a big old lock at the tip and a skinny old strands of hair holding it down to the scalp. You got a couple just like, I like the regular dreadlocks. These are the closest regular looking dreadlocks I got. Guys, I did a mix of all 3 methods. And now guys, this was super scary for me to do. I haven't even taken a look after I did all this popping and pulling and ripping and cutting and sipping. You know what I mean? I think we ended up at a pretty decent place, man. And boom, guys, we are feeling like a whole new man. Check out the back of the head. All separated. A bit of the scissor method. We use a bit of to get this lock out, to get this lock out. We have 1 weak lock right here. We're gonna keep a close eye on that one to make sure she stays strong. Into the crater, we still have 1 giant lock here and 1 giant lock here. These 2 guys are all formed together with that little bridge of locks here, but separated it on down. And guys, I didn't make this video for you to go out and start to separate your locks, nor did I make this video for you to go out and start to Congo your locks into 1 giant lock. I made this video because I want you all to sort of carve a path of your own. But if you're on this journey and you're not looking to have a giant lock like this out the side of your head, separating early on might be for you. Just simply check in once a month, pop them, pull them, and rip them like that. It's no longer a crater. But we do have this 1 individual lock here, this big reminiscent. We do have this big crater here, both of which were locked up together. Now these 2 big Congos here, you see, they at the top look like they might be a bunch of individual locks, but they're not. Now, we did some separation here, but we're pretty much stuck with these 2 locks. I mean, I can go in with the scissors, but I actually don't mind them too much. It's a nice memory of what we went through together today and actually separating that crater out. It's a nice memory, and I did get some regular looking locks out of it too, like this one here, who may be a little weak, but we'll see how far she goes. And then we have another regular degular. Look at that. Sometimes it's nice to find just a regular looking lock in the mix, just to be like, yeah, y'all the common folk. We need y'all in the mix. We can't just have a bunch of crazies. I'm already too much crazy. I think we got another almost regular degular here. We got 3 of them. And they're at the center of my head, which feels good. So we're having some locks grow at the center of the head. We're not going bald, guys, so that's a plus. I can already feel the tension releasing on my head top. It feels so much better. I feel so much more free. I'm not trying to have one lock on the side of my head and another lock on the other side of my head. It's those of you who are okay with that. You got some cojones, my dude, and keep pushing through. That's gonna be a dope ass set, and I fully commend you. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like if you learned something new. Drop a comment if you think the separating was a good thing to do, and drop a comment if you think I fucked up and I should have just let things be. It is what it is. If you aren't a part of the familia, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Just the tension that's been released from my scalp already, I feel like, you know, there was some itching going on. Now I'm wondering if like the itch was always caused because I haven't been able to get down to the scalp and really touch my scalp. If you do have some itching with your locks, I suggest you watch this video right here. Or if you're not curious about the itching, you know, in all honesty, I think this video right here might be good for you as well. This one right here. Guys, wherever you are on your journey, I wish you many blessings. It's your boy, DOMI boy, sipping on some organic coconut water, you know, and I'll see you at the next one. Bounce. I ain't never had bounce like this. And the shake. And the shake. Yes, sir.